Welcome in, everybody, to the IA Sports Studio. And for the first time in a long time, we are talking high school baseball. My name is Cade Nissen. For those of you who recognize me from wrestling coverage, you know I finally get to shift my focus over to baseball, which is really kind of my passion in this field. This will be my second year covering IA baseball. I think it's IA baseball's 8th or 9th year of existence. Andrew Brown is kind of the brains behind all of IA baseball. He does an incredible job. Super excited to partner with him. But if you read the title, you're here today to see Class 4A's top pitching staff returning. This is my list and my list only. So if you want to give anyone crap, you can give me crap. This isn't our rankers. This is mine. I just went through all the numbers and the guys back, and this is my personal list of the top 10 pitching staffs coming back. Before we do that, though, a few list of announcements. If I did my math right, we are 47 days away from first practice here in the state of Iowa. If you're interested in me coming down to your practice, shooting some B-roll, shooting some interviews, I'd love to. Go ahead and give us a DM on IA Baseball's Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. I'm going to be starting to kind of tally those and start heading to practices and getting to meet all the coaches, players, and really just excited to give you guys a ton of coverage this year in the summer because it's what the state of Iowa deserves. Moving on, High and Tight. Again, High and Tight, if you don't know, that is our kind of podcast show, I'd say, like a real show. Andrew Brown is again the brains behind that. He does a great job. There was an episode last night where I was on. We were talking high school baseball, some surprise teams. We talked about returning champs. We have some fun games. You know, Andrew does an incredible job. So if you didn't go back, go watch High and Tight. Ton of fun. That's kind of the big show, you could say, that the one that you can look forward to every week. But I'm looking to add. I'm thinking, Iowa high school baseball fans out there, if there's a demand, I'd love to bring you guys a morning show throughout the year where I hop on for 10, 20 minutes every morning and run through some notable scores, some notable stat lines, and just keep you guys updated with everything going on across Iowa high school baseball, all classes, doesn't matter. So if there's a demand for that and you'd watch that, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know. Just say, yeah, you'd watch that, because if it's something you guys wouldn't watch, then I'm not going to do it. I want to curate my content for you guys and give you guys stuff to watch. And speaking of getting content that you guys like, I want to know what list you want next. You want 4A lineups? Do you want 3A pitching staffs? Do you want 3A lineups? I'm going to be working on, this type of stuff these next 47 days, as you can see, until practices really start. I want to bring as much off-season content for you guys and give this season as much hype as possible. If you're wanting to support IA baseball, we've got our exclusive content on Rockfin. That's where you can subscribe. Again, that is the number one way you can support IA baseball. We want to keep doing this as long as we can. We do it to bring you guys, exclusive content. That's where our rankers stuff will be. All IA baseball preseason teams will be on there soon. Our preseason team rankings are already on there. We're releasing conference previews slowly for each conference. Tons of new ideas. I think this spreadsheet with, I got each returning pitcher across all of Class 4A and each of the teams with the percentages of guys back, all that weird data that the Iowa high school baseball fans, if you're interested in that and if you're interested in supporting IA baseball, head over to Rockfin, subscribe. Again, it is the number one way you can support us, and we're going to be bringing you guys tons of content this summer, more than last year, that's for sure. We want to make sure you guys get your money's worth, and that's going to be my job to bring that to you guys. But without further ado, let's get right into our list, and I'm going to start things off uniquely. I've got 3 teams from the Class 4A state tournament last year who are losing a ton of guys. And I'm not saying these teams are going to be bad pitching. I'm not saying that, because these teams always develop great pitchers. But I'm saying that there's going to be a lot of new faces for these really notable teams in Class 4A this year. And it's going to be interesting to see what new faces come up and really deliver for these title contending teams. And here are those 3 teams: Johnston, Southeast, Polk, and Ames. As you can see, 2 of these teams battled for a state title last season, and they're losing a ton of pitching. I've got the numbers here. Starting with Johnston, your reigning state champs, they're only bringing back 28% of their innings pitched. They are losing some guys: Carter Woolams, Caden Wilson, Pierce Anderson, and Caden Halsrud, all gone. Those guys all ate up 30-plus innings. Carter Woolams was one of the better pitchers in all of Iowa last year. 58 innings and a 1.5 ERA in the CIML is incredible. He's gone. This team's losing a ton. They do have some pieces that I like, though, in Rafe McConnell and company. Will Nuss is probably going to get a bigger innings role. So it's going to be interesting, Johnston, how they rebound and what new faces they're going to rely on the mound. The team they battled with in the state championship, Ames, they lose a ton too. Carter Geffrey, though, he's back. He's the big name. He's an absolute stud, 7-0, 1.18 record or 1.18 ERA. He's the Iowa commit, the two-way star. He's gonna give them a shot every time he's on the mound. But besides that, they lose their next 4 top innings eaters. So it's gonna be really interesting what that Ames team that went on such an incredible run can rebound and do this year. And again, it's gonna take some new guys eating some innings on the mound for them. And our third team, and probably the team that honestly got gutted the most, it is Southeast Polk. They returned a microscopic 14.98% of their innings from last year. This team was heavily senior led on the mound. Ian McDaniel, Alex Stewart, Carson Medina, Jarrett Canada, and Landon Hamilton all threw 40-plus innings for that team last year, and all of them were seniors and graduated. So Southeast Polk, they are going to be the team with the most new faces on the mound this year. But that's what makes it fun is we're going to get to know and tell these guys the stories, and I'm excited to see what these 3 teams can do and what new faces show up on the mound, because they're going to put some top guys out there every night that are going to compete. So super excited. But those are my 3 teams that are going to really take new faces and going to rely on new faces on the mound. So without further ado, let's get into our top 10. Again, this is our top 10, my top 10 pitching staffs to look out for this year. We'll start off at number 10 with, Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes, 18-21 last year, took an early exit into postseason to Ottumwa, but I do like the pieces that this team has on the mound. Grant Sorensen, Nate Danielson, both of those guys threw 37-plus innings last year. Both those guys are back. They're probably going to be the horses, but they also returned plenty of guys, few guys that threw 20 innings, Hunter Reed, Drew Sabatino. Hawkeyes, a team I'm going to expect a big jump out of this year. They're one of my sleeper teams that probably hasn't gotten the biggest preseason praise, but I'm really high on Hawkeyes. They're super well coached, and they're just a fun team to watch play baseball. So I got them here at number 10 for my Class 4A top pitching staffs to look out for. Heading into number 9 is Urbandale. Urbandale, they fell in the sub-state final to Southeast Polk last year to head to Duane Banks, but I really like what this Urbandale team brings back. A ton of pitchers. You can't see the spreadsheet in front of me, but they had a lot of guys throw innings last year that are back. Again, this spreadsheet I'm going to be putting on Rockfin for our subscribers to see. This is some really cool stuff. Again, it shows the percentages of innings pitched back, percentage of hits back, percentage of earned runs back, all that good stuff. Shows all these returning guys' ERA. So it could be really be a good tool. But speaking of Urbandale, I mean, Jacob Barnes and Michael Meyer are back. Those guys both threw 30-plus innings and both had respectable ERAs in the CML, sub 3.5. And then you got guys who all throw 10-plus innings. There's 4 or 5 of those guys. So Urbandale, a team that's bringing back a ton of firepower on the mound. Maybe not all the most experienced, but they're going to have a huge repertoire on the mound and a lot of variety to go to. Urbandale, they come in at number 9 for my top pitching staffs to look out for. At number 8, and a team I can admit could probably be a little higher because I really like what Kennedy brings back, and it's more at the top end. Jay Scott and Grant Mather are back. Both those guys, 2 of the top pitchers you could argue in the entire class of 4A. Maher and Scott both threw 53-plus innings. Both had ERAs below 2.5. Jay Scott was the kind of the ace, you could call him, 8-1. He had a 1.59 ERA, only struck out 27 guys, so he pitches at contact. But Grant Maher, that 1-2 for C.R. Kennedy is going to be pretty dangerous. They also return Owen Hutchinson and Matthew Stoltenberg, both guys who contributed on the mound last year and are going to be looking to do the same this year. So Kennedy, the Cougars enter at number 8 for my Class 4A top pitching staffs to look out for. Moving on to number 7, Waukee Northwest is a team that's been getting, honestly, a lot of pub in the offseason because of what they're bringing back. They've got 3 guys with 40-plus innings returning: Chris Peterson, Sahi Jetty, and Grant Miller. I saw Chris throw last year. I saw Sahi throw last year. Both those guys impressed. Sahi I saw throw against Prairie. He was dominant. I think he went 6 and a third, 6 and 2/3 of no hit and ended up getting the loss. He returns a 2.4 ERA. That's the best out of those 3. But they also returned guys that have 15, 25-plus innings back in Tyson Schlicklicker. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Sorry. Jack Berdovich and Caden Kitzman are all back that contributed significant innings. That team was 21-21 last year and was just inches away from going to Dwayne Banks and competing for a state title. So Waukee Northwest, another team that's going to be really tough to beat. They really struggled offensively. That was the story. The pitching is going to be there. They returned 70% of their innings from last year, and they were really, up in the top of those, just a lot of those statistical categories in Class 4A. So Waukee Northwest, a team I'm really high on, and really all these teams in this top 10 are teams that I'm super high on heading into this year. Heading to number 6, though, it is Indianola, a team, honestly, a lot of people aren't talking about. Indianola, they returned 70% of their innings from last year, a team that competed with DCG in that conference. Andrew DeWall, Luke Rockhold, Luke Byers all returned 30 innings. DeWall was their ace. He was 5-3 with a 2 ERA. All these guys just absolutely microscopic. Their team total ERA last year was 1.84 for Indianola. They really, really dominated in their conference. Obviously not able to get to Dwayne Banks, but they were extremely successful on the mound, and returned 70% of a team that pitched to a sub-2 ERA is just impressive. And they're going to be competing with DCG in that conference for that title. So going to be super fun to watch Indianola compete. Again, their pitching is just top notch, and I expect it to be the same this year around. Heading into our top 5, though, of the Class 4A top pitching staffs to look out for, I've got number 5 at Prairie. Now, Prairie, a team that was honestly expected to be at Dwayne Banks last year, unable to do so. But they're back again this year. They only returned 67% of their innings pitch leaders, which is probably on the lower end for the top 5 teams. But their three of their top guys are back. All of them through 45 innings last year. Cam Voles, Reed Burkle, and Logan Wagemeister, all through 45-plus innings. All of them are back. All 3 of those guys had 6+ wins to their name. All of them have below a 3 ERA, below a 1.35 whip. So they're going to have a 3-headed monster. All those guys will be seniors looking to lead this team. Burkle was kind of the standout amongst those. He was 6-0 with his 48-plus innings. He had 57 strikeouts, a 1.8 ERA, and a 1.14 whip. So he's kind of going to be looking to lead the charge for Prairie, as they're really kind of on a revenge tour this year and looking to head back to the state tournament, this time in Cedar Rapids, to compete for a state title. Their preseason ranked high, and it's for good reason. This pitching staff could be lethal for the Hawks all year long. Heading to number 4, though, of my Class 4A top pitching staffs to look out for, it's a little, I'd say, sleeper one. Sioux City North. Now, not many people think about Sioux City North. They came in preseason ranked in our Class 4A rankings, 26-13 last year. But you can't ignore what this team brings back. This team easily brings back the most firepower of all Class 4A teams. Over 99% of this team's innings pitched are back, and there are some horses at the top of this lineup. Aiden Shrunk, Cal Chamberlain, both threw 54-plus innings last year. You also returned Stephen Kling, who threw 49 innings. You got guys throwing 20-plus innings, and Dylan Byer, Patterson McCormick, and Lachlan Jackson. This team on the mound is going to be incredible to stop. Aiden Shrunk, kind of the big name of those. He threw 55 innings. He had 92 strikeouts, which was up there in Class 4A, 1.7 ERA and a 1.07 whip. He's going to lead the charge. But again, you're returning 3 guys who threw 49-plus innings last year in Class 4A. It's pretty impressive, and Cal Chamberlain, being a freshman last year, throwing 54 innings is incredible. This team is going to be very, very well set on the mound. Again, they're preseason ranked in Class 4A for a reason. Not a team a lot of people think about when they think about Class 4A, but what they bring back on the mound is impossible to ignore. So I slotted them in here at number 4 for my Class 4A top pitching staffs to look out for. Headed to number 3, though, it's the Little Hawks. They found themselves at Dwayne Bank last year, ended up short, losing in the quarterfinals to Ames. But again, this pitching staff returns a ton too. 69% of their innings are back, and a lot of the top guys, including the front runner, kind of the headliner, Talon Young. He was 8-0 through 62 innings last year, struck out 50, and had an ERA below 1. Yes, 0.89 ERA to be exact. Also a whip below 1. You also returned Johannes Beavers and Jake Mitchell. Also Max Waldschmidt. All those guys threw 34-plus innings last year. All had contributed significant wins on the mound. The Little Hawks, their pitching staff is really, really set for this year, and their preseason ranked really, really high over in our Rockfin preseason rankings. Again, if you want to go check those out, go subscribe to Rockfin. Those have been there for a few weeks now. If that's something you're interested in, go check it out. But again, the Little Hawks, super, super high hopes, looking to return back to the state tournament and make a deeper run this year. And they're pretty well set on the mound to do just that. Heading to number 2, though, for my Class 4A top pitching staffs to look out for, it is Ankeny Centennial. Yes, preseason ranked very, very high. As usual, they were wire to wire number one last year. Fell in the sub-state final to Ames, who ended up making it to the finals, as we all know. And when you return a guy in Joey Hawkeyes, as we're expecting, I mean, that pitching staff is automatically vaulted way up to the top. His 49 innings and 91 strikeouts is video game-like, 1.13 ERA. But even besides him, I mean, this team's returning 63% of their innings from last year. Emerson Alberhowski and Preston Glatt are going to be huge contributors. I like Glatt. I saw him a few times last year. Both those other two guys had ERAs below 3 and contributed in some big innings. So Ankeny Centennial, super high hopes for them again this year. They're going to get some big contributors to step up and be a nice pair with Joey Hawkeyes. They're going to be as dangerous per usual. And your number one, my number one, I guess you could say, Class 4A top pitching staff to look out for. Here's a team I posted on Twitter as a little tease for this spreadsheet that I have. It is DCG. I just love what this team brings back. 73% of their innings are back this year. 2 guys who contributed 55 plus of those innings in Keaton Fenn and Dane Malk. Both those guys had ERAs right around 2 or below. Both those guys had whips, just microscopic. Fenn struck out 74 through those 57 innings. Malk was more of a pitch to contact type of guy, but his ERA and whip were team leading almost. And you're going to have Tate Perrin, who's a sophomore last year, step up into a bigger role. He had 26 innings last year, and he didn't give up a single earned run. So this DCG team, you could throw Ty Mickelson in there as a number 4 guy. I watched him pitch last year against Van Meter, I believe. He looked really, really strong against a really, really good 2A team. So Ty Mickelson is going to step up into a bigger role. This DCG team, again, they appeared in the state quarterfinals last year. Took a loss, so they're going to be looking to get back and looking to make a deeper run. And with this pitching staff, I see exactly how they can do that. They were 30-7 last year. They won their conference, and they're going to be looking to do the same and make some noise in Class 4A for the second straight year. But that was all I got. That was my top 10 pitching staffs to look out for. Again, my name is Cade Nissen here at IA Sports. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know if you like this, what rankings you want to see next from me. Going to be a ton of fun. Again, baseball is my true passion, so I'm super excited to bring tons of content for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time.